Hey, Parlay Pete, how you doing, buddy?
We are doing good. How are we doing, AC Lee?
Man, not too bad. Just got off from work today.
Yeah.
Sitting here ready to talk to you, dressed for an Atlanta nigga funeral.
Really, you look like you're selling kilos on Miami Beach the way you're dressed right now. See the gold chain, you got the taco meat hanging out. I wouldn't know any better.
Hey, man. You know the old school nigga who like to wear the Adidas jumpsuits. You know what I mean? And talk about them dirty birds.
I was waiting for you to pull out a boombox, Run DMC. I mean, gosh. But no, I do recognize the all black in. I think it's appropriate.
And, I would like banter with you like we normally do to start the show, but in days like today, I just think we need to just get to it, man.
She's burning me to hold on to this. I know this is something I gotta do.
Hey, YouTube, man, don't flag us for this one. You know what I mean? We
New Kung Fu Kitty.
We are all here to do what we do.
Are you ready to rise up, Parlay Pete?
I figured you were going to cut it off before it even got to that point because there's nothing that's rising about this team except the urgency to fire a coach.
There is an urgency to fire a coach. A lot of urgency to fire a coach. A few coaches. A couple of coaches, actually.
Yeah.
Poor receivers coach.
Scapegoat.
Bro, since when did firing a receivers coach change anything? Unless he had sex with somebody on the staff's wife. What are we firing a receivers coach before the midpoint in the season for?
What are we firing the receivers coach? What are we cutting a receiver on a week where you knew you were going to be short your star receiver? You bring down your offensive coordinator to field level after week, what was that, 3?
Yeah.
And we still haven't really seen much of a difference. He just gets to see it up close in person, much more personally, if anything, of how shitty his play calling is.
It's just time to let this thing burn. We just need to get, let's get some Atlanta sage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just take over the bins. And just everybody light the sage up at the same time. And just burn that shit out, man. We've got to get that energy out of there. We've got to sage the organization.
Lee, coming into this game, I was about 75% sure that we weren't a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why was once I kept looking at the NFC standings, I was like, okay, well, I know that we played 2 teams that are 5-2, or they were 5-2 going into last week. And I said, okay, we lost to San Francisco. So I was like, there's a tiebreaker game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're only going to get healthier. But then I started looking at it. I was like, okay, Tampa's this. They got that over us. Now I was like, damn. I was like, well, Carolina's got head-to-head. Then I looked at the NFC North and I said, shit. I was like, Chicago's 4-2. I was like, Detroit and Green Bay are bona fide playoff. Those 2 teams are going to playoff. I was like, I don't see where we fit in this. And
you got the Rams, the best team in the West.
Yeah. No. Those were the 2 5-2 teams. Them in Seattle. We still play them.
Shit.
But we play them. But the reality of the situation is they're both 5-2. They look great. I don't think that there's a better receiving combo with running back combo than what the Rams have. Matt Stafford has turned back the hand of time. He looks like he did his first year in Los Angeles. Oh, and they've just got a better coach than ours. I mean, we're not even going to get into the coaching aspect of all this. But
better offensive coordinator, too. Same guy.
Yeah. I mean, just we get outclassed by just about every organization I'm running through. Hell, even Dallas, who lost to Denver this past week, going into last week, at least when I told you I had the 75, I was like 75% of me is like, no, we're not a playoff team. Now I'm at 100%. I know that we're not a playoff team. We're not a playoff team. And just the idea of watching what we watched on Sunday.
What you watched?
Well, that you were in and out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's not a playoff team. And I guess
started our defense.
I know.
Julian
Turner started Kirk Cousins.
Because everybody
the biggest Falcons hater started the backup quarterback.
And
that goes to show what the expectations were going into this game. Even if he felt inclined to do that. Now, was it kind of a setup like game for us to lose? Low key it was when you look at it hindsight wise.
Not like
You've got Devin A-Chain on your fantasy football team.
Yes, I do.
What did Christian McCaffrey do to us the week before? Oh, he went out and had like 7 or 8 catches and he had over 200 plus yards total. And it's like, McDaniels is of the same kin of Shanahan. He probably watched that film and was like, hey, Devin, we need you to go out there and do what Christian McCaffrey did because they clearly can't stop fucking running backs out the backfield.
Hey, you know what Mike did? Kyle, I know you don't listen to all of this shit, but you know what's going on down here. Send the files over. Mike, check your spam. I sent them over 2 days ago.
He said, hey, and you remember when we were all on the staff in Washington and Atlanta, you know how Ra is. Ra's just a rah-rah guy. That's why they call him Ra. Nobody calls him Raheem. They call him Ra because he's a rah-rah guy. And really, that R in Ra stands for hard R today. On this program, that's what the R in Ra stands. It's a hard R. He's hard R Ra. Because that's the type of bullshit that's getting put on the field. And honestly, I would have had more respect for Ra if I woke up and it was wet. It was nasty outside Monday morning. So I did get breakfast and I got a coffee because I just chose that as my drink. It's either that or water. I don't do that orange juice and stuff. But I had my coffee and I figured I was going to wake up to the news of Zach Robinson has been fired. And I'm like, thank you, Rod. You're growing a set of balls. We got TJ Yates. TJ Yates going to be the OC. Okay, fine. Let's give him a shot. Let's see what he can do. He's a former quarterback.
I don't care. I don't care if the new OC is good or bad. I know who's bad.
I just want it to be different. I just want to see something different, and that news didn't come. And then you wait a day and you get to Tuesday and then Rob reaffirms his belief in Zach Robinson. And I said, okay, these guys take a playbook out of the McKay files. They say what any organization would say to show that they're banded together. There's no turmoil. Nobody's pissed about the result. We wish it went a different way, but we're not really pissed about it. We're going to stick together because we believe what we're doing here from training camp all the way to game 8. It's working. We believe that this is going to work. Trust the process, right?
Trust the pistol.
That's fucking bullshit is what it is. And Rich McKay, somebody needs him. The FBI, we need to get
Cass Mattel and Pablo Torre working separately. Let's go.
Yeah, we need these guys to come in and we need to figure out what does he have on Arthur blank. What does he have? Because does anything make sense anymore? Like what's going on? We went from a franchise that was somewhat ran well. I think at least during that the initial phases of Matt Ryan, Mike Smith, and Thomas Dimitroff, what appeared to be a functioning organization to we're a dysfunction organization, Lee.
Let me stop you right there. We owe Thomas Dimitroff an apology. Because we were upset that, Dimitroff missed some draft picks. It happens. But we were upset with TD because our team was struggling and we were in cap hell. But we were in cap hell because two of the greatest Falcons, arguably the two greatest Falcons of all time, on the back end of their career, coming off of back-to-back playoff appearances, a Super Bowl appearance, and then also coming up, Julio dropped short, which should have told us something. of beating the eventual Super Bowl champions. So we had to pay him because that's what a good loyal team does. And that's who the Falcons were, a loyal team to loyal Falcons. And hey, we might have a down year or two because we're taking care of our guys, but we're going to take care of our guys who've taken care of us. From a football point of view, not the smartest way to run a team, but from a team, family, even for the fans who want to yell about a Matt Ryan pick or the stupid sack he takes on 2nd and 7, but we love these guys. And TD did right by these guys, paid them at the top of the market because they came off of those types of seasons that rated top of the market pay. And then we fired TD because he put us in cap hell, but we knew he was going to put us in cap hell based on these moves. And since TD left, this shit's falling apart.
Well, remember,
we no longer have a patriot in the building. An important one.
Yeah.
And we let two leave. We let two leave. And one of them is he might win his fucking division. I mean, the guys we let walk out the door.
Yeah, Les Snead.
I'm not talking about Les Snead.
I know, but I'm just bringing up more people that have been in the building that are gone.
I'm talking about the guys we let in the building who we didn't have to let out because we could have gave them a Godfather offer and we didn't. I'm talking about Jim Harbaugh. I'm talking about Mike Vrabel. I'm talking about Ben Johnson. This is what we're talking about here. It's just overall incompetence. As far as I'm concerned, Arthur Blank is Joe Biden.
Damn near. But and here's the worst part. I noticed you didn't bring up Bill, right? And I know that Bill is having a hard time in Chapel Hill right now. But I tell you what, the offensive coordinator that we know he would have brought with him, he fucking isn't. That offense looks great, and we get to face it this week.
Well, the GM who we have praised recently on this podcast, I think we're to a place where we're not upset with Terry anymore for his roster construction.
No, we're not mad at what Terry has picked out the best possible groceries you can to cook this meal.
And we know Terry didn't pick the coach.
Terry doesn't have any say, is what I'm starting to think, outside of in the draft room. I don't think he has say over anything else.
And now the only problem with Bill, we know who Bill's bringing. He's bringing his luggage, and it ain't Louis V. It's Lombardi.
But at this point, will we just not be okay with that even?
I mean, Terry would be more impotent than he is now. And that's not a shot at Terry. That's the Falcons organization. Lombardi has Bill's ear no matter what his role is on the team. We know this.
I'm okay with the luggage because that luggage would have pushed McKay out. McKay would have been gone. And so
that's probably why Bill didn't get hired because
no, it is. No, we know that's why.
Lombardi's been eating McKay's lunch for the last 2 years.
Well, and I think it was Lombardi that said it, that he said, Bill would come in and he'd ask the guy, he'd say, so what do you do? Because it's true. These are questions that actually do need to be asked. Whether he's the guy for the job is, beyond it's above my pay grade. But what is known is that we need to ask these questions. And those questions would have been needed in this organization.
Hey,
because think about it, the Bill thing would have been reset in 3 years anyways, right?
The Bill thing would have worked too because he and Jordan Hudson don't work in Atlanta.
No.
There's no competition up there in Chapel Hill. You get around some of these young scammers, she out of there. She up through there.
I mean, or let
real money feed in the streets.
Or let one of those young Rich Nation guys get a hold of her, right?
She be pulling up to the Benz on a shiesty. She might have to go down to Miami for a weekend or two.
What about young Rich Nation?
What about Rich's Nation? We're in Rich's Nation.
Yeah, and he gets to kind of play God in this scenario, and he's like, "Well, I kind of dictate how this goes."
He's not playing God. This is Madden GM mode, franchise mode, dog. And Rich is at the controls. We think these guys are doing a job, but Rich is hiring the staff, firing the staff. He's playing the games. He's setting the depth chart.
He's setting the prices on the hot dogs.
He's changing the sliders, the difficulty.
Yeah.
We've got to burn. We really have to burn this thing down, because one of my biggest issues with the Falcons is we're not buttoned up. And when a team is not buttoned up, I don't care how good you are schematically. If you have to be buttoned up. You could be, look at Miami. They have a great scheming coach. They have great talent, but they're not buttoned up. So they're inconsistent. They win at the beginning of the season. They win warm weather games and inside. They don't win after Thanksgiving much because it's cold.
Right.
Why? Because they're not buttoned up. It's not from a lack of talent. It's not from a lack of schematical excellence. I mean, my God, you had Vic Fangio on one side of the ball, and you got Mike McDaniels on another side of the ball. As a Falcons fan, if we just woke up one day and we had that combo, that guy calling plays, those two guys calling our plays, we'd be happy.
Right.
Well, because McDaniels is the guy, and it's looking like these guys, these chips off the old blocks,
yeah,
they're not buttoned up. They don't know how to run a football team. And I was talking shit about Lombardi, but one thing I've learned from listening to Lombardi over all of these years is one thing about Bill Belichick is he coaches the coaches. So the question is, who's coaching the coaches? You get a young head coach, who's coaching him to become a head coach? When he was a coordinator, who was trying to coach this guy and holding him accountable throughout his journey? And what I allude from that is a lot of coaches are left unchecked, or they're being checked by those who aren't competent enough to properly check them. Shout out to Miss Ursay. Sorry, I don't remember your first name. Your team is on top of the world, best team in the league by your record. You know, you've got the MVP running the ball for you, you know, and she's on the sidelines, got the headset in. She's learning how to hold her people accountable. You may not like it day to day because your boss is in your business, but when your boss is in your business, you take care of your business or you know you're out of here. We've got Arthur asleep at the wheel, and Rich, I mean, he's driving.
Yeah.
But can he see? Is he drunk?
So we've got Ray Charles driving Miss Daisy. Is that what we're saying?
Ray Charles after a good night. R.I.P. to Ray Charles, no disrespect, but it's documented he had his vices. This is Ray Charles after one of those good old nights, after filling on some wrist and grabbing Miss Daisy because he felt that nice little wrist.
Yeah.
Just throws her in the car and drives her home and says, you know what? We'll get there. I'm going to fuck you. I'm going to fuck you real good.
My goodness, Lee. Yeah, this is why this show is this show, guys, because only he can graphically give us this view with his fucking glasses on.
Hey, is Rich McKay not fucking Arthur Blank in Falcons Nation?
Well, he's definitely fucking Falcons Nation. And my question is, what does he have? Because, you know, we joked about the Epstein stuff, but, like, what does he have? He's got something. And I don't care what anyone says. I am not a conspiracy theorist. That Nick, he's got something. He has something, because there's no way that you ran through now, not including his own regime as a GM, you've ran through two other regimes. You're on your third coach, second GM, and the results are the same. Everything's the same. And it's just kind of like, okay, who could be the problem here? There's got to be one concept. There's just been this running meme of Daniel Jones, right, with the Giants to the Colts, and it's this last scene from a Scary Movie, right, where they have who is supposed to be Dewey from Scream, but he's Doofy in Scary Movie, and it's him, walking how Doofy was walking. I don't want to say how he was walking, but exactly what they were implying.
Yes.
And then he turns into a stud and he hops into a car with a whip with a chick and he flips his cigar because he's the coolest nigga in the room. And so I want to say that almost the same exact thing is happening here. It's one of these things where as soon as you get rid of this one person, we know who the problem is, God damn it. Like, who the problem is. And you're just turning a blind eye to it. And it's why, though? For what?
Coach Ra guy.
That's why I call him Ra.
Hey, he's low-key Chauncey Billups.
Oh, man.
He is the face of an operation. And you deserve blame for your involvement in this operation. But you're taking all of these arrows. And those who know he's not the guy running the show. And no disrespect to Raheem Morris as a man. This is not anything to you. But inside this Falcon system, on your best day, you're Pinocchio. Sometimes you get to do your job and do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, Geppetto, a.k.a. Rich McKay, has his hands on your back.
Lee, that is why Ra got hired in reality. Because we scratched our head at it. We were like, we tried to make ourselves feel better about it. And we were like, you know what? He was kind of overdue to get a job, right?
He was.
It just wasn't our job that he was supposed to get. That was the issue.
But here's the problem now. You talk about being for black people having fair opportunities. Now, don't say the guy who's qualified, he was qualified and due for a job is not good enough for your job. You didn't know that this wasn't going to work until it didn't work.
Well, yes and no. I think that this is the real issue. If we really want to break this thing down, when I say that he was overdue for a job, it was that he put in for one, he was the youngest head coach of all time, right? At the time. He got 3 seasons in Tampa, had 1 good year. They didn't make the playoffs, unfortunately for him. So he got fired after the 3rd. But, other than that, a bunch of lackluster seasons. And he took over a Gruden roster that, at the time when Gruden got fired was a 7-9, 8-8 operation in reality. He waited his turn. He went to Washington. He went to Atlanta. He was here. He goes to L.A. He wins the Super Bowl as a DC. Granted, with probably a top 3 defensive player of all time. But I digress. Does that. Defense still looks good, even after they won the Super Bowl. Gets interviewed by the Falcons again because he had a shot here, too, for what it's worth. Now, granted, it was a dumpster fire because he was taking over. It was interim basis, but he coached 10 games. I mean, he coached a lot of that season.
We covered this last week.
I know, but it's also just it's baffling to me because it's just like we know exactly why he was hired. He was hired because he's a do boy for a Rich McKay. They're familiar with him. They know he's going to do whatever it takes. I wouldn't be surprised, Lee, if Rich in that interview the second interview was like, now, Rob, we're going to give you the job, but if I say jump, you say how high. All right?
Figurative.
Capiche.
Hey, speaking of Capiche, Lombardi calls him Kaiser, so say McKay.
Well, and it's almost like, in what circles is Rich McKay thought of highly? Seriously.
The league office. Lombardi hates the league office. Bunch of politics, a bunch of people protecting their desk.
Well, and I feel like that's because he's been getting Lombardi gets trashed by the league office. So did the Patriots when that regime, even though they were winning, and he wasn't even there that long. I mean, I know he was there, but he wasn't the GM. I mean, Bill was the GM, right? he had his chance with he was like the Browns GM for like 2 years or something.
You didn't watch that Pablo Torre on him, did you?
I didn't, unfortunately.
Bro, please. Not even for content. Just for the shit that we talk about Lombardi.
Yeah.
It's so much funnier because they look to expose him as a fraud.
Is he not?
He knows more football than I do. And despite his ability to apply it in a job, I understand football so much better because of Michael Lombardi. And a lot of stuff I talk about, tying the 3 phases together, that's stuff I learned from him. And that's super important in the failure of most teams to do it. He's just better at football media.
So, but and maybe that's where his space is, right? That's why Beeson hired him. Like that's his space. The actual doing it, it's just like what's my man's name? That's on Prime. That was the GM for the Nets. Sean Marks.
Sean Marks. They got him on Prime.
We didn't think that he was that bad, right? From what we saw on Prime, right? I thought everything the whole thing, not just him, but the whole thing is set up really well.
Oh yeah, Bezos. Yeah, he spent money on that production. It's beautiful,
right? And Jeff would hire somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. But I wouldn't want Sean Marks running the Hawks. It doesn't change how I feel about. Oh, well, he knows the ins and outs. He's educated, right?
Well, and I'll tell you, that's why I get frustrated when you sometimes listen to players who think and I sound crazy saying this, but a lot of pro athletes don't know how to explain their game and view their game through a lens outside of their own.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that people in the media know the sport better than the players, because for the most part they don't. But they can tell the story much better, and they can see the bigger picture things,
Yeah.
Like I listen to how basketball players will talk about how great of a player Carmelo Anthony is. He's amazing. Top 75, deserve it. Bona fide score. Real deal. I don't want to build my team around Carmelo, though, If I got to draft him, I'm not going to pass on him. But his style of play, his character, and not saying that he has bad character, but we know Carmelo doesn't have the best work habits, and he's a selfish player. That's okay. But I don't want to build around that, because it's harder to build around that than it is other types of players.
Some people might look at Russ that way too.
I would look at him that way.
I don't know why that just came to my mind when the way you were describing. I'm like, sounds kind of like Russell Westbrook.
Yes, but it's a lot of really good scorers.
Yeah, guys that have led the league in scoring. Like, I think did Russ not lead it twice?
I don't know. But is there anything else that we want to talk about? Because there's no analysis on the game that matters. It's just, I don't know, dude.
It's just sad is what it is. But that I can think of, no, because we kind of already hit everything. We can blame kind of the performance. I didn't even know if Kirk Cousins played just god awful. I mean, he didn't turn the ball over, but it seemed like it was a scheme issue. They showed Kirk yelling at Zach Robinson on the sidelines. I don't know if you saw that video.
But that's the one thing that Penix can't do. And we haven't talked about this. Kirk Cousins makes a first-time play caller and Zach Robinson a better coach, especially in the game.
Well, I think we did say this. Don't we believe that Kirk Cousins at this point would be a better offensive coordinator than Zach Robinson? That's why you just fire him. I would trust Kirk Cousins. It's like you're paying him all that fucking money anyways. Just let him just do it. He knows the league. Make him earn his pay. He's listening. He knows everything about this already.
And it wasn't shown last week. But, dog, there is an argument a healthy Kirk Cousins is a better option for the Falcons to compete today. There's an argument for it. Kirk Cousins done threw 4,000. Kirk Cousins done ran up a bank. and earn those bags. Again, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is a fucking top 10 quarterback in the NFL on his best day, but he's a fucking professional quarterback. He spent a good portion of his career, one of 16, closer to 10 than he was to 16. Just production. I'm not talking about clutch and all. You know the nuance.
You know what's going to end up happening? And we can kind of end it on this because we've given it 30 minutes, but like, Terry's going to get fired if we don't make the playoffs. It doesn't matter that he's picked out good talent. They're going to fire him.
Yeah, he's Damon Jones.
Yeah, he's going to get fired. And honestly, somebody will point to that situation alone. If Penix doesn't look like he's progressing and getting better and we don't make the playoffs, they're going to say, this is the guy that paid Kirk Cousins all that money, drafted Michael Penix, and neither of them fucking worked out. Neither of them worked out. Like, and then it'll turn into can somebody fix Michael Penix? Not that he needs fixing, but can somebody make him more consistent? Can they get the most out of him? Because he's got we know he has the tools. He's got a strong arm. We know this. Like, we know that some bitch can throw that ball. We know it.
Well, that's what happened when you put a cannon in a pistol, dog. The shit don't shoot.
Yeah.
Get that nigga out the pistol.
I've been to jail, ain't going back. I oop your bitch off that bad boy. She throw it back. I slammed on in that pussy. Play Griffey hoe, nigga. Made back with Rick and Ross.
Dang, Meek used to be fire.
Keyword, used to.
We also didn't know he was stupid when back in. But real quick, hold on. Let me just get to this hook and then we can talk about the rest of the league.
Yeah.
That shit burn. Let that shit burn. Burn. Let that shit burn. The roof on fire. Oh God. Let that shit burn.
Let that shit burn.
Yeah, man.
Well, I guess we can start with Thursday. Well, we were on during Thursday's game, weren't we?
Yes, because last week I had a prior engagement Wednesday. We try not to make that stuff happen, but it was the only way it would work for me, so I had to pull that string. And A._C.2 approved. So,
hey, did you pull any other strings? Don't answer that.
Anywho, moving along. Where are we going here next? We're going to get into week 8 that you call week 6 in pre-production.
I probably called it that in the description too, because that's what was in the notes and I didn't check it for, we just copy and paste when it's.
Yeah. Let me, what's that?
I said, pull up week 8.
Yeah, we're going to pull up week 8.
Hey, while you're pulling that up, I was listening to 520 in the morning, and I rarely take time to ever talk badly about these types of podcasts and the members of these podcasts, because I'm a huge fan of the podcast. But, having a good host is so important to a show, let me tell you. Like, this is back and forth. We share the A mic and B mic, and you know what I mean? Like, it's give and take here, pause. But the host of the Club 520 podcast, he likes to get people moved, right? He's always like, free him. It's like, dog, no. So they're talking about Myles Garrett's amazing 5-sack game.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, the Browns sad, bro. Free Myles Garrett. No, Myles Garrett just read up with them in the offseason. Okay, look. What Myles look like saying, hey, dog, y'all trash, bro. Get me out of here.
He looked like an NBA player. Isn't that what they do? They sign their big contracts, and then they say, all right, now I want out. Because they got as much money as they could get. Now, it's a little different, of course, because in the NBA, you leave a team and you sign, you're going to get less money. But, like, or one less year normally. But that's what they do, though. They will sign their money. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Devin Booker somehow requested trade. Not this year, but next year.
I doubt it. I think he wants to be a lifer there. They don't have a guy that's the Suns. You know what I mean? Like, Chuck had his good run there, but he wasn't drafted by them. He didn't retire with them. Like, they don't have like a guy that's relevant,
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, you're right. He would look like an NBA player, and that's the difference between the NBA and the NFL right now. Yeah, people love talking about the NBA. It's global. Just like we talk about a lot of these Democrat policies. Oh, yeah, great. Yeah. Just us talking. But see, the NFL resonates with the people because a guy like Myles Garrett, if he takes that money, he's going to pick up his lunch pail and he's going to lose games and he's going to kill shit. And that's what the Republican Party is doing currently in America, right? And it resonates with. No, I'm serious. But it resonates.
I'm here.
It resonates with people, whether you like it or not. But like, it resonates, even if it's the better message. It doesn't matter. Like, it resonates.
Yeah.
Whereas the Dems missed the boat. The NBA, a much more liberal league. A lot of people can't relate to a guy making $40 million a year and then saying, "Hey, we suck. I want to leave."
Yeah.
Like, dog, I wish I could make $40 an hour and I'd stay here and be miserable. But you got the money and you just can't deal with a little bit of adversity, even though you're killing. That doesn't resonate with people. And that's where the NBA is missing the mark. And the same thing with the Democrat Party. You have all of these smart ideas that seem so convenient for you and this and that. But
you mean like NBA Cups and things of that nature, different jerseys and shit like that?
The NBA Cup, different jerseys, talking about Bronny James all the time. Like, let's talk about
Prime, NBC, ESPN, ABC. We're dibbling, dabbling, everything. Did you see they're going to come out with the new NBA Street?
Yeah, I saw that bullshit.
Yeah. Stuff like that. That's the NBA, though.
Exactly. And load management, even though that's not the players. We'll get to that later. But again, it's coming from the league.
Yeah.
Somebody going, you are volunteering for paid time off, making all that money, you're not even hurt, and I paid to come see you. But I bet if you flip that on those people and told them, "Hey, dog, it's PTO. Don't you get PTO?" Huh? But anyways, let's talk football. My bad.
Yes. So week 8, we had honestly a lot of blowouts. So there's not too many games that we want to really talk about, but there were 3 that kind of stick out to me. The Jets got their first win against the Bengals. Obviously, they were down, I want to say 15, maybe it was 14, but in the fourth quarter, they make a comeback. Justin Fields is listening to the owner loud and clear. He wasn't even supposed to start. Tyrod Taylor just so happened to not be a go. Comes in, looked like much ado about nothing, same old Jets. And then they come out and they get a win, getting Aaron Glenn's first win. And that locker room looked elated, as they should. A coach is getting his first win, even though it's halfway through the season. You're 1-7. Fuck it. Why not?
But that's a good thing. That tells me that players are buying in. And I thought
they wanted it for him.
Yes. And Aaron Glenn had a great comment in a post-game presser. He was like, before you start winning games, you have to learn how not to lose them. And that's so important. Again, golly, I'm going back to Lombardi, but one of the Bill Belichick-isms that Lombardi talked about a lot is a lot of teams lose games. It's not the other team winning, it's a lot of teams losing games. And when you're talking about a Jets organization that really hasn't had a pulse since what's my man's name down in Tampa?
Well, I was going to say Rex.
I was going to get to him, but
you said Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles, he got him to 10-6. They didn't make the playoffs. Shout out to Brandon Marshall and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Guys never know what it's like to play after week 17 or 18, depending on what time of the league you're talking about. But then Todd Bowles, he had a little bit of competency there. He has like a down year, not even a terrible year, just a down year. He's out of there. No real quarterback. And then you go back to Rex. They've been an incompetent franchise from top to bottom. So Aaron Glenn coming in there trying to change a culture. Sometimes changing the culture doesn't result in early wins at the beginning of the first year because you have to get the culture there so then you can build upon the culture. You got to figure out who's going to buy in, who's not going to buy in, who do I want, who am I stuck with, Who can I replace? It takes a lot sometimes to turn a football team around, especially for a first-time coach. So, again, let's pump the brakes on him.
And as a former player, too, and it's funny because the way you just explained it, I mean, look at Dan Campbell. He's the same way. They were 3-13 his first year with Detroit. Then they go to 9-8. They get that big win over Aaron Rodgers on Sunday night to kick him out of the playoffs, and that was his last game in Green Bay, I believe. And now look at them. Detroit's the toast of the town. They're typically at the top of everybody's list when it comes to teams in the NFL. Wealth of talent. Like, they're just a super talent. They're deep. And they play with it. They have a style of play. Everybody knows they have a culture. Detroit has a culture. They might have the strongest culture, low-key, today. I mean, the Chiefs have a strong culture, too. But
Rams too. Rams, too.
Yeah, but Detroit's got a strong culture, is my point.
They do, yes.
They've got a very strong culture. Everybody knows the identity of that football team.
Shit, the Patriots.
Yeah, well, now, yes. Now.
Yes, because remember, what was it? The Bills game. They were getting a couple of those late penalties. They're getting those late hits, and it's like, you don't want to give them 15 yards, but I see what y'all are doing. Y'all are physical. Y'all are playing to the last sound of the whistle. It's a thing. Remember Brian Flores, his first year in Miami. They sucked at the beginning, and then they started winning games and playing hard because he was bringing in a culture, and sometimes it takes the culture a while to set in. But as I talked about earlier, you can have the schemes, but you got to be buttoned up. Being buttoned up starts with the culture.
What do you think Ra's culture is? Just showing his chest?
Yeah. Wide open.
I'll give you an example. Dan Quinn brought a culture here. The brotherhood shit was real. It was real. Now, that message ended up getting stale at the end, but, like, it was real. You felt we had an identity, damn it, with Dan Quinn. We really did. We actually had somewhat of an identity with him.
And we see it with Washington. They don't have the best record right now, but when your number one receiver doesn't show up to training camp because Adam Peters doesn't want to just go ahead and pay him, you know what I mean? Like, just
and your quarterback's hurt. He's been
hurt
here. Yeah.
And Marcus Mariota is throwing the ball for you. And although I don't like the little short guy, but he did tear his ACL or tear his Achilles in week one. Yeah, Eckler, like, he's a valuable piece. Like, yeah, you got a nice rookie running back, but having them as
done anything.
Oh, he slowed down now?
Oh man. Yeah, he cost Dale a fantasy football win against me.
Good for Dale. I love when Dale loses.
Yeah. Well, Terry McLaurin is really who fucked him because Terry, although he got hurt, he's out again this week, by the way. Yeah, he scored for me, and that's all I needed. So
here's the thing with Dale, right? Dale is my biggest nemesis in the league, and I wish bad things on him.
He's 2-6. I mean, he's not going to the playoffs. He could win out, and I don't think he's going to get in. So
I want Julian Turner to pass him in the record this year. That's how much I pray on Dale's demise because, you know, he beat me in the championship. And Dale does not deserve to have a locker room title. Sorry.
Yeah, it's tough.
I mean, he's barely in the locker room.
Well, that's true.
I mean, Eric Boyd might be more locker room than Dale. He's not even in the locker room. At least he's in the gym.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if we played basketball, Dale would be the last person picked. No, I would pick Dale before I pick Matt.
I don't know. It depends on who the teams are. If I'm depending on Matt to guard Gambles, then yeah, Matt's going to be last. But if I have Gambles, I'm okay with having Matt just because of sheer size.
Yeah, but if I don't want Dale to guard me.
Well, because Dale's going to do this the whole game.
Yes, Dale is a beefcake. Pause.
New Kung Fu Kenny.
But like I can move Josh Holsey around. He thinks he's strong and all of that. I'll move Josh Holsey around.
Yeah.
Dale is so strong. Even if I get on his hip, you know, he's not a real basketball player. He's a football lacrosse guy. So you know how he plays defense.
Yeah. But that's what I said.
Like,
Hell,
bro,
Jew was doing the same thing when we played.
well,
Which
Jew is
honestly,
short. I can shoot over him.
no, I know,
Dale's
but I'm just saying that was the tactic that they took against me was everybody's like, well, I'm stronger than Pierce. So like I'm gonna be as physical as possible with him.
And every time I got to the basket, Josh Holsey would just wrap me up and say ball up top. And we're playing outside and you couldn't shoot a jumper. I know nobody
the wind, it was kind of cool, but a little bit of wind was going on out there. That's what I told him. I said, guys, this is a completely different fucking game in a gym. Or at least let's get it on a hot summer day. We played in February. We was like February, right?
January.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Playoffs.
In Tampa to just so the audience knows, like we're not playing in January in brick ass cold.
Yeah, we weren't in Massachusetts or anything, but it was still like 55. It wasn't
And
hot.
let's play real basketball. Let's just not foul somebody every time they beat you.
Yeah.
But back to football.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one of the highlights of week 8. Another big one here was the Ravens got a win with Snoop Huntley. They put Snoop Huntley in over Cooper Rush, and they did win. That's Pro Bowl quarterback Snoop Huntley to anyone out there that cares. But they got a win, and I think that's a pretty good win, honestly. They beat a Bears team that was 4-2 that had won 4 in a row. They set up the platter for them, especially with the way that Pittsburgh is starting to lose games, to essentially have a shot at winning this division still. Because of how talented we know Lamar Jackson is, how good of a coach we know John Harbaugh is, that's the type of win that saves the season. So that was just another one of those games that kind of stuck out to me. And then, of course, Aaron Rodgers did go against the Packers.
Hey, I got one thing on Caleb Williams.
Go for it.
Listen to 5:20 in the morning on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Colts linebacker Zaire Franklin's on that show on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And somebody asked him who's like, hardest person to tackle in the league. And he said Caleb Williams is one of the hardest people to get on the ground in the NFL. And he referenced that wild throw he made to DJ Moore. Just how he can just get out of stuff.
It checks out. He's such a I want to say that I know that this has got to be a word. Improvisationist.
I'm going to say it's a word. I know what you mean.
He's very good at improving. And that's kind of, that we talked about it that when the season began kind of was that's why they brought in Ben Johnson, right? So that he can actually flow through the offense and actually have his reads because he's so used to playing that way. That's all he did at USC. That's all he did at Oklahoma. And that's okay in college when you're much faster and bigger than dudes, right? And you're just that much more talented even. In the NFL, everybody's as fast as you. You know what I mean? All those guys, if Myles Garrett's coming around the edge, he is going to fucking get you, dude. It doesn't really matter what happens. And so, yeah, that doesn't surprise me in terms of just from the way we've seen him play.
Yeah, he's one of the most talented players in the league. He just doesn't put it together all the time, He's more consistent, but he reminds me a lot of LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
You just go, wow, this person is more talented than everybody else.
Yeah.
Why is this not working all the way? This should look better than this.
Yeah.
But LaMelo's a YN running around Charlotte, and boy, funny stories about LaMelo that I will not share here.
Right. But then the other game that was pretty much a highlight was obviously Aaron Rodgers playing against the Packers. Although the game was not in Lambeau, and I'm sure that would have just made for much more pomp and circumstance, it still kind of counted because it is the Packers that he was playing against and Jordan Love, and the fact that he kind of gave him the keys right before his departure. He gets to go against him, and Jordan Love looks fucking fantastic. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look bad, but I don't know. The defense isn't good. In reality, they were up 9 at the half. So
they got Kyle Duggar.
Yeah, we'll see what that does. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Jalen Ramsey's going to get burnt by Romeo Dobbs. You know what I mean? Or Tucker Kraft.
Shout out to Dobbs. Real quick, shout out to my man Najee B. He's living in the world that we're living in right now. Now he loves Tomlin. He's not, but he's over it. Tomlin standing by his D coordinator. highest paid defense in the NFL looking like this.
Is it really? They're the highest paid defense in the league?
Yeah.
I mean, I know obviously TJ got paid, but they got Hayward.
They got
Jalen
ain't cheap.
Jalen's still making, he's still making money. They probably paid Slay at least 8, 9.
But yeah, they're like, I think their defensive payroll is like 136 million or some shit like that.
That's crazy.
And they suck.
Yeah, they're bad. They're the tier right before you get to that Cowboys defense. Like, that's how bad it is. Certainly their pass defense. Like, literally the Packers were up and then they just kept throwing the ball. Like, they weren't even trying to run it. And they've got Josh Jacobs and they weren't even trying to run it. They were like, no, we're just going to throw that bitch because they can't stop it.
I think it was personal too.
For
LaFleur.
Against who though? Tomlin?
Aaron. Nah, Aaron.
Oh, Aaron. Okay, yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna show you why we moved off you. Look what we're doing with these young receivers. But shout out to Jordan Love for having a great game. Love it for him.
Love it for you. You're gonna be starting him this week, huh?
Absolutely. I'm just glad he had that game in front of Aaron because it was just nice to see because he and Aaron had a much better relationship. And despite Aaron losing, I think if he takes a step back, he's proud of his young boy for balling out like that.
Yeah, Aaron doesn't strike me as far. Obviously.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Leading up to the game, they talked about it, but Aaron had a rule that Jordan Love had to speak up in meetings or he would get fined because he just wasn't talking, and it helped him build his confidence and speaking in front of the team and also showing the team that he knows his stuff and he's asking the right questions. So that's enough to tell me that Aaron's proud of who Jordan Love has developed into.
Right.
Because he wasn't happy about him coming there and taking it and knowing that he Aaron.
But again, he also knew how that felt.
Exactly. And he didn't want to make anybody else feel that way. And that's another reason why I hate the Aaron Rodgers narrative just because he didn't want to take the COVID vaccine and he's
he likes ayahuasca and stuff.
And he only talks to Pat McAfee, honestly. And, Square Media hates that because Pat McAfee's not real. Whitlock said he was selected, even though he's one of the few people who went mainstream after being underground because he organically built his fan base, but neither here nor there.
Well, I think Pat's good for sports television.
Me too. He's entertaining. He knows his stuff, and he also brings in people to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for? I mean, the man can call Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers. Not many people can do that.
Yeah. And I saw that we had here on the docket, I might as well, since it's part of week 8, Chiefs back.
Sure looks like it. That offense is humming.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice. Kareem Hunt on my bench, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, Travis Kelce's still up and down.
Pacheco got hurt, by the way. Just giving you a heads up.
Oh, Kareem Hunt's already in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce hit and miss. He had some drops, but he also made some big plays. And now that Mahomes has his weapons and can utilize every blade of grass on the field, hope he can score some points because the defense ain't what it used to be.
I mean, they looked good this past week. Now, granted, that was against Marcus Mariota, but
against Marcus Mariota,
they still only held him to 7 points, and some people even kind of questioned whether Terry really caught that ball. I thought he did. I thought he did. But yeah. I mean, I tell you what, we'll get that litmus test this week, right? They play the Bills.
Are the Bills good?
I mean, they won 40-3 against Carolina. Not that that matters. It's Carolina, but I mean, considering we lost to them 30-0 in that same scenario, and we beat the Bills, it's kind of weird how this stuff works, right? But yeah. I think the Bills are still a quality NFL team. Like, I still think that's a pretty good football team. And yeah, I like the Bills. But that's also been a house of horrors for the Chiefs in the regular season the past few years. Now, obviously, no problem playoffs, but that is a game that they've been losing in the regular season. Out of them 2 and 3 losses that they'll have a year, typically they drop one to Buffalo. So this week, not to mention this game is going to mean something. If you are a believer that the Chiefs will overtake the Broncos for the division, hell, the Bills need to win because the fucking Patriots keep winning. So
the Patriots
it's an important game. Yeah, it's an important game for both of them.
Hey, speaking of the Bills and the Falcons and the Patriots, I opened up Instagram because I'm addicted to my device.
Yeah.
And Brick says Drake Mayfield's a lot like Josh Allen.
But Diggs said that before the Bills game. He said that. He said that on Sunday Night Football when they talked to him. He literally said that he reminds me a lot of Josh Allen.
The Drake May hype train is trying to catch up to Wemby. We'll get to that later.
I don't think it'll catch up there. He's going to have to win something first. Now, Wemby doesn't have to win anything because the NBA is an individual sport. Now, I know the NFL is a quarterback-driven sport, but Wemby's different.
And speaking of, I'm so happy we're going to have Chet in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, we'll get that matchup.
Yeah.
On a national stage.
I mean, because that's who we need.
Well, not national. I'm sorry, world stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, world stage.
Celtics are up by 19, by the way.
Yeah, I've been kind of checking it here and there, and nah, it's too late but this is the NBA. Remember, it's the NBA. Teams they will blow at 15. It's crazy because basketball is a game of runs, and I know that everybody's heard that, but it is so true. A team can go on a 10-0 run in 1 minute, right?
Donovan Mitchell can get hot.
Yeah. I don't see it happening this time just because,
Cleveland's 2 for 11 from 3, so if they get a couple open looks and just correct back to the mean, we got a game here.
Well, you want to know I'm looking at the box score now. You want to know what the true issue is? Why has DeAndre Hunter shot 11 threes? And it's the third quarter. Why has he shot 11 threes? He's 3 of 11. Donovan Mitchell's 5 of 7 from 3. And it just makes you wonder, why is DeAndre Hunter shooting the ball so much? It's kind of like how we were talking about Nah. It's like, why the fuck is Nah shooting all these shots?
No.
I don't know.
If I was a visiting team, when Nah, every time he shoots, I would just play the Chief Keef No.
Right.
What we got next? We got some games to preview.
Yes, we do, to not give away picks or anything. But looking ahead, obviously, we kind of just broke down the Chiefs Bills a little bit.
Hey, take the Pats. They're covering. I don't know what the line is. Take them. I don't know.
So, it's funny. I thought about throwing it in to stay away from it at all. It's not in the 6-pack. You can throw it in the least 3, of course. It's 5.5 is the spread.
I'm just telling y'all, take them.
Yeah.
Do some crazy shit though, because
we got an interesting one though with Colts Steelers. They're traveling to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak. Colts, obviously, best team in the NFL record-wise, and just the way that they look, and they've got the presumable half midseason MVP in Jonathan Taylor, no doubt. Baker kind of close second in MVP. I think Mahomes, obviously, he's up there still too. But that ought to be an interesting one. Broncos, Texans, you got a defensive slugfest coming there. We put our hands all over that matchup in the picks. I've got 2 picks out of that game. Seahawks, Commanders, obviously, prime time. Jaden Daniels will be back. That should be interesting.
Real quick on Jonathan Taylor, he has 850 carries for 12 touchdowns.
What do you mean 850 carries? 850 yards?
Excuse me, 850 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns,
Yeah, he's got and overall touchdowns, I think it's 15 that he's got total, receiving and rushing. And everybody's talking about, does he have a chance to get to LG?
14. 14 total. Yeah, he's getting it.
He definitely should get, because what LT, I thought LT's is 31 though, right?
I don't know.
And I don't remember if those were all rushing or not, but
Doubt it.
yeah, it doesn't seem right.
Most total touchdowns, 31. 28 rushing.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
Most points in a single season. Imagine having him on your fantasy team that year.
Well, you won because you were winning single-handedly because of him every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he put up numbers.
Yeah.
You see everybody else to show up to the arena, kind of like, when you play for the Bulls, Mike gonna do him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody else got to show up.
Yeah. Look at the numbers.
I'm tired of Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
before we get to Mike, just so we can crescendo out of the NFL, just because you got it here for us, Kirk wants to start. Does Kirk get to start? No.
He might be able to go back home and back up.
I'm interested in that, too, because it's like, is J.J. McCarthy ready to go or not?
Is J.J. McCarthy good or not? Is Justin Jefferson going to have to continue to struggle through this?
Yeah.
Are the fantasy owners of Justin Jefferson going to have to continue to struggle through this?
Hey, look, we might get a call that says Kirk Cousins on his way. Because think about it, he doesn't really have to, maybe there's new terminology, but he won't have to learn too much. Hell, we saw the Minnesota Vikings bring in, what's the aerospace engineer that came into the Mercedes-Benz and beat us last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago, Josh Dobbs. Nigga got to the team on like Wednesday and beat us on Sunday.
I don't think he got there Thursday.
You may be right.
Yeah.
I know he didn't know the plays.
He didn't know the plays, and it's because they have that rookie that they drafted. He got hurt on the first drive. Comes in.
And then we lose.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking miracle worker. I mean, water to wine like that. But
I mean, where could he start? I mean, if I'm the Jets, I'm not taking on that salary. For what? We suck.
Well, it just wouldn't make sense for him to go there. Because remember, Kurt's got to accept the trade, too, which maybe at this point he's open to anywhere as long as he can basically make himself more money, right? Like, that would be the thought.
I just don't think he wants to go out this way. Hey, Flacco's hurt.
Is he?
Yeah.
He got hurt in that Jets game?
I read somewhere Flacco's hurt. Let me pull it up.
Let me see something about that.
He's 50-50 to face the Bears, coach said 6 hours ago. He got a shoulder injury.
Oh, I know that they don't want to. You're making me want to change my picks real quick. I didn't pick them, but maybe I want to hop on the Bears now. Because they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose if Flacco not playing. Like it's written.
I mean, nobody wants to go into a game with Jake Browning. I mean, I know Jamar Chase.
I wouldn't.
I mean, Zach Taylor coaching for his job doesn't. Speaking of Taylor, did you see Joy Taylor in those butt pads?
So I did, and I liked it on Twitter because I meant to send it to you. And sometimes I'll like stuff on Twitter just so I can go back and send it to you. I did see it. Yeah.
The first time I saw it, I go, are those butt pads? And then it showed up in a couple of group texts, and I go, okay, yeah, those are butt pads.
Yeah.
So that's not Joy's butt. I've seen her workout videos before.
Well, it was either going to be that or you would have thought maybe she went under the knife. But
she's been too visible on social media. You got to sit down for a second when you go under that knife. Wait for the next 2-week hiatus.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people still think she'd be a good fit on the Joe Budden podcast, but
I think she'd be a great fit on Watching Winning. No, she wouldn't.
Okay, moving along.
No. Do you think she would be a fit on our show?
I think for the idea of her for sports, no.
I mean, I don't.
Everything else, she'd be great. But to actually talk ball and shit, no, she wouldn't be a good fit.
Well, no, because nobody goes to Joy Taylor to talk sports.
Yeah.
I go to her to talk ball, but not sports.
Yeah. Yeah. She's something to look at, which is something to look at in college football, too, while we stay on football. These college coaches, man, these firings, these buyouts. BK, and I believe you said that you were ready to eat your crow. So I will give you the floor. But Brian Kelly fired from LSU. No surprise on this side. Lee, take it away.
Brian Kelly had to go. He's too good for them to not be good enough. So he had to go. Now, it was a mismatch from the start. But I believed in Brian Kelly, the coach. I saw what he did at Notre Dame. I saw what he did at Cincinnati. I've read his resume. I just believed he could figure it out. But, Rex Ryan had a great point on Get Up. Pretty much saying like, hey, dog, if you don't fit in, don't try to fit in. Just be yourself because people can see through that. And it's not that LSU didn't have some highs, but they just haven't trotted out a complete football team that could compete in the SEC since he's been there. I mean, you have a Heisman Trophy winner. Doesn't matter. You get to the SEC championship, but you didn't have a chance. No one believed in you.
They played Georgia that year.
Yeah, no one saw you as a contender. Even if you beat Georgia, you may not. The only reason you're getting in to the playoff is because you beat Georgia. You know what I mean? And Georgia still has to get in. But it just didn't work. He's a Midwest guy. Penn State, call him. I think that's the answer up there.
If I'm being honest with you, I don't think he goes there. I don't think that they want him. You want to know where I think he's going to land if he takes the job? He's got to start back down, not from the bottom, but from the bottom.
Come on, man.
I see him going to like Virginia Tech.
Golly, I hope not.
And it's a winnable conference in reality, though. It would be winnable.
Yeah, I don't want to see him in the ACC. And I know that at Notre Dame they played, ACC schedule, especially during that COVID year. But get this guy in Big Ten land. That's where he belongs.
I mean, it would be intriguing for him to go to Penn State just because you're giving him more. He's getting to kind of keep somewhat the same talent level. Expectations will still be high. They would be just as high, low key, because that's the point. That's kind of the point of Penn State. They're like, yo, even though LSU's a team that's won a national championship, they've won 2 in the last, since 2007, right? And they've been to 3. Penn State hasn't been to any, right? And it's like the expectation to win would be the same, though. Because for them, they're like, well, we moved off Franklin for a reason because we're ready for the Mark Richt to Kirby Smart step.
But the pressure isn't as high. LSU's a bad job.
Well, because you got to win a national championship in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, if I'm Lane Kiffin, if it's LSU or Ole Miss, I'm staying put. LSU's a bad job.
Oh, I take the Florida job if I'm him.
No. I'm not even I'm just saying if it's LSU or Ole Miss, I'm staying at Ole Miss. Yes, LSU has great Louisiana has great talent. There's no in-state rival. You can win a national championship there. You can compete. Absolutely. Storied program. But it's a bad job because of those boosters, and BR will want you out of there in 4 years if you don't win. And I don't know if you've seen this nonsense going on, but like the governor is getting involved in the coaching hiring.
Yeah. He's the reason Les. He's the reason he got fired. Because apparently, I don't know if you read it, but apparently he came in and initially they were just going to fire the offensive coordinator. And of course, BK had pushed back on that. It was like that and like the O-line coach or something. And he had pushback, and then like the governor comes in and he's just like, get him the fuck out of here too. Like, because that was the big thing, obviously. Are we going to pay this guy $54 million? And the governor probably has some sort of say. I mean, I'm pretty sure the governor is a part, him and the Secretary of State, that's who budget is the state's money, and that is a state job. So
But the governor is also a MAGA guy, and
Yeah. He wants to build a Charlie Kirk statue outside of the campus for whatever. I don't know, man.
But this Turning Point shit's getting out of hand, bro. If you want to join Turning Point, have at it. But like, why are we forcing this on people, dog? This shit ain't ever, nigga. I didn't know what Turning Point was until Charlie's demise, R.I.P. But
I had never heard of him. Seriously, I mean, I know I've said that multiple times on here. I swear I'd never heard of him.
But but we have to point that out because they're making this a national thing, and people need to know that everyday people didn't know about this movement.
I don't know who the fuck he was.
But what's his name?
I'm not on TikTok enough.
But the governor is also saying the AD's not going to make the next head coaching hire. Well, what the hell are we doing, man? Governor, go govern the state.
That's state business.
Yeah, but we know who pays for the coach. The boosters.
That's town business.
There was also a story that one of the top boosters wasn't involved in the Brian Kelly hiring. And he's not happy. He wants to be involved in the next hiring. He wasn't
got money on the line, wants to be involved.
But I think the governor needs to take a step back. But yeah, we got Brian Kelly. He got bought out for what, 50 million? Over 50 million,
54.
50, damn near 54. You got James Franklin, who got bought out for like 49. You still got
even the little guys, though. Even the little guys. Norville, you remember the guy who made a name for calling out Prime at Colorado State? Yeah. Even for a small ass school like that, and I think he was in the last year of his deal or something like that. He didn't have a lot of years left. He got 1.5. That's still a nice little get the fuck out of here check if I've ever heard of one.
Yeah, so college football has to, since we have all this volatility, and unlike the NFL where there's a legitimate offseason and an offseason for the staff so you can fire, hire, and then build a roster, we've got to create a hard schedule for college football so this stuff can be regulated better, because it doesn't serve anybody well for coaches to be getting fired during the season so often, so frequently, but you have to in order to get started on recruiting for the next coach, because you don't want to lose guys and so on and so forth. So college football has to change what's going on, man, because it's the wild, wild west. And as we saw, when the NCAA couldn't properly manage college football, the TV network stepped in, and now we just have the Big Ten and the SEC because it's ABC versus Fox.
Right.
And if you watch the football, it does not make sense. USC should not be in the Big Ten. They don't play Big Ten football. This is not college football is still very regional because you're recruiting
baseball.
You're still recruiting kids. Everybody doesn't want to go across the country at 18 to play ball. Dogs, niggas want their mama to come see them. And yes, you may get enough money to afford to do all of that stuff, but still.
But then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of getting that money if you're spending it already, especially for the guys that know that they're not going pro or that will have a short shelf life in the pros. This is where they do make their money. And Meemaw shouldn't have to get on a plane and I pay the $800 round trip from LaGuardia to LAX so you can come see me play. Then I got to put you up in a hotel room. Let's just say, and of course, it's a big week. I want you to see me play against Ohio State at the Rose Bowl. That's going to cost staying out in Beverly Hills. Oh, the travel, getting them a car. You'll run out of $2,000. Yeah,
bro, it's freaking insane. Why is Indiana and Penn and UCLA playing each other in a conference game?
Yeah.
Why is Cal in the fucking ACC? Bro, just think about it.
Stanford too.
Bro, just think about this, right? My daughter lives in close to Stanford and Cal.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if she's like a soccer player, volleyball, whatever the hell girl sport she plays, right? And her mother, who is also in California in that area, wants to, regularly support her daughter like she's done throughout the journey. And she got a game at Georgia Tech. I mean, I'm happy.
Yeah, you're pumped.
But like, what's that like for her mom to have to fly to a game at Georgia Tech and then fly to a game at UNC? You know, like this isn't it's fucking stupid, man. And college, you're still a student. Man, what kind of grades are they making? Or we just put them in online classes. So now we're just making them we're faking them students to make them athletes to make us money.
Yes, it's they basically are on permanent study hall, right? Like
bro,
that's
bullshit.
kind of what it is. Virtual learning. That's the new term.
Right. And you know, it made sense for like Johnny Manziel to do virtual learning, you know, Angel Reese, Tim Tebow, like these big
Somebody
stars.
that's too famous on campus.
Yes, it makes sense for them to have to do stuff like that. But for that to be what you're doing for your student athletes, simply because, again, football a little bit different because you normally play one game at the end of the week. But the other sports, like, dog, if you Cal and you got UNC and Wake Forest and NC State on the basketball trip, right? Nigga, you in North Carolina for a week and a half.
Well, and then, you know, the other issue is, too, well, what about when the season's over and they have to return to regular class? Right. Now you've demotivated a student because they're like, man, fuck this. Like, they're not even going to know how to realistically function and go around because the first half of the year they haven't had to do any of this. So they don't really know, like, how this works. Living in a normal dorm, having to go to the normal cafeteria or something. And I'm sure those guys, they have their own shit, but, like, still,
yeah, it's
yeah,
messy.
But it makes you get comfortable to the point at where it's like, nah. And then that breeds what would you call it? Sticking your nose up at people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just yeah.
And then now we got students getting fixed grades so they can stay eligible because they're on a bullshit curriculum, and then the college spits them out and they didn't even get what they came there for, and they're also not a professional athlete. So it's like, damn, I didn't even learn how to become a professional in the place where I'm supposed to learn how to become a professional while also competing. That's why I have an issue with the Big Ten getting venture capital involved. You know, hey, we need money to make things happen. But I told you about that Dr. King speech I was listening to last night.
Yeah.
We can't lose our humanity in the pursuit of money. And and like in college sports, we're losing our humanity. Everything
losing recipes.
Right, because everything is not about the bottom line all the time.
Oh, but you know,
excuse me. Everything does not have to be about the bottom line all the time. You run a business, dog. Yes, you want steady growth every year. But if you make your projections, you set your budget, and you are clearing in the black every single year, and maybe you could, you know, you get some bigger contracts, and you could either give yourself a bonus or you could increase your wages.
Yeah.
Even if it's just off of those people on that contract, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you get rewarded with a second contract because these people are killing it, I mean, yeah, you hired them, but they did the fucking work.
Correct.
For good cohesion, give them, you probably should break them off some and not just be the owner or the person who's making the money and trying to just make more. Hey, everything doesn't have to be about money. Sometimes things are fun.
Well,
huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say you reward them. You invest into them, right? Like, I'll give you an example, just because it's kind of how this kind of worked for me. I mean, when my dad got out of college, he didn't just start a business. He had to work for somebody, and somebody came to him and said, "LB, you know, you could do this too. Basically, you should start your own business. Like,
what
I don't
can
want
you
to
do?
hold you back. You're a hard worker. You know what you're doing. You're infusing life into somebody. You're letting them know, hey, you can do this too." And I always have told our guys this, seriously, because I said, I don't expect you to work for me forever, because I don't. And it's not because they couldn't if they didn't want to, in a sense of some of these contracts that we've got are permanent. Like, it is permanent. Like, the one that we did, well, we don't have any more, but the one that we did have in California, these people were working for me for 8-9 years. You know what I mean? And so, like, you can work for me for forever. I don't want you to. I don't want anyone to do that forever. Like, there should be growth, and there should be people infusing life into other people. And so, but for them, it's, you know, it's a big bottom line for college sports.
and that was supposed to be the difference between pro and college.
Right.
And, you know, that's why we love the SEC. What it's been, it matters more. And even in SEC expansion, at least ours is still regional. Yeah, we're spreading west, but we already had Missouri and Texas A&M, you know, like it can be sequenced properly. And granted, they shit the bed with the scheduling, but we could have still our SEC East, our SEC West, and our Big 12 rivalries going on inside of the SEC. It still flows, and then your style clashes. You know, your Texases and your Georgias, your Texases, your Bamas, your LSUs and your A&Ms, your Oklahomas and your Tennessees, right? Like, those are actually cool matchups, but regionally they still make sense. We're only talking about 2-hour flights still.
Yeah. You know,
Drivable game. Like, we can road trip Friday when we get off, or we take off on Friday, and Friday morning we pack up the car, we go to the game, have a good time there Friday night, go to the game Saturday, get up Sunday morning, drive back, go to work on Monday.
Yeah, and nobody wants to be flying from Stanford to Syracuse for a game in November with it snowing. But speaking of Syracuse, I want to give a shout out to I am Demi Douglas, because she is tuned in right now and she has just called me out for standing her up. Demi, the show loves you. We appreciate you watching, and I will make sure to get with you after this. But
get right with you.
That in it. That's why I use Syracuse with the Stanford. Yeah, I don't know.
Get right with you. Speaking of Syracuse, you see Cayenne?
I did not. So, you know, it's weird. They've been showing all this, I guess it's preseason. It's like the exhibitions.
Shout out to Booze.
Well, I was hoping, but it's weird because it's like big schools going against each other. Normally it's Kentucky versus Morehouse. You know what I mean? Like, it should be something like that. But that's not what it's been. It was like when Boozer and them, they played against somebody. Like, it was like Texas or something. You know what I mean? Like, they played against the school.
Against Rocky Top.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, what's up with that? That's weird. I haven't seen that before.
I don't know. Bottom line.
You know? And clearly they're playing, they plan because Booze if he's had 23 and 22, he played the whole game. You know what I mean? Like he actually played.
Well, the arena was packed.
You think the tickets were any cheaper? Or you think they follow the NFL's method, where preseason games cost just as much as a regular season game?
You've paid for Falcons season tickets more years than I have. So you know the answer to that fucking question.
Yeah. I know. I'm just being facetious at this point.
I know. Where are we at on time? I can't see the clock from here.
We got about 37 minutes left. Let's see here. And I am getting my ass chewed here. Let me get off of that because I don't want to look at that anymore.
Is that bets or your text messages?
The bets.
Okay.
I'm sure the text will follow soon. But let's get to the association. Wild NBA scoring outputs. He had a couple of 50-point games so far, and an almost 50 ball from Lucas, but it's been 2. Lauri Markkanen had 1. Austin Reeves had 1. And actually, no, there's been 3. Who had the other one?
Shea had 55 in double.
Shea had 55.
Shea having 55 is okay. That's just that. Shea in double overtime 55. No one's tripping. Luka having 49, missing a free throw. Nobody's tripping. Austin Reeves having 50 ball. Like, we know he can do this. No Luka, no LeBron. The nigga averaged 20 last year with Luka and LeBron and LeBron and AD. The skill set's there. But then they'll follow it up with 41 the next night. And then Lauri Markkanen to have the first 50-piece since Karl Malone in Utah. Then you got Maxey damn near averaging 40.
Yeah.
Giannis and Wemby just
Yeah, because I think Giannis had like 40 last night. No, he's really close. He had like 38, 39. It's something. But
Nigga took 38 steps on that play.
a little bit of betting advice here for anybody: take the over.
Yeah.
Just take the over, because that is actually what's going on right now. The scoring is insane, not just from an individual, but from a team perspective. Because naturally, if a player is scoring that many points, the rest of the team is still kind of holding their own. These games, it's honestly not. There was a game yesterday.
Shit, I looked at the 40 piece.
Well, but wait, there was a game yesterday where I looked at the line. It was I think it wasn't yesterday, maybe it was 2 days ago. It's like the Grizzlies and like the Warriors. They had the over under 251, and I'm like, no fucking way.
It went over.
Yes, fucking way. They scored. Let me tell you something. They scored 73 fucking points in the first quarter. I mean, we are starting to enter the NBA All-Star spectrum of scoring at this point.
Well, the detached liberals.
What about them, Lee?
Well, they think more scoring, and not the actual liberals. It's the NBA guys, okay? But the actual scoring, they think more points means a better game.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. Even non-defenders in basketball appreciate the defensive side of the game, even if they themselves don't like to play that game.
Yeah.
But I was listening to Bill Simmons this morning. He and Tim Legler, they talked some hoops, and they were talking about free throws are up, foul calls are up, and guys are shooting in the mid-range too, because a lot of guys are getting that mid-range shot.
Yeah.
And the pump fake and and guys who usually don't get those calls are getting those calls. Shout out to VJ Edgecombe. He's killing.
Yeah. Man, he's averaging 24 a game.
He's not supposed to be doing that.
He's setting himself up for a big fucking payday is what he's doing.
Setting himself up to get Joel Embiid shipped out the door. If he can get healthy enough so they could actually get something from him.
Would you bring him here?
No.
I'd do it. Why not?
Nigga, he got like 4 years left on his extension.
You Kung Fu Kitty. I've got the craziest one to send you about that too. I had been kind of slacking a little, but
Hey, remind me to tell you a story about an NBA player who plays for the team up north when we get off the show.
Okay. But yeah, the scoring has just been insane. I think that the league probably should do something about this, because unlike the NFL where scoring is kind of better, I don't know if it's really necessarily better for basketball, because it makes you, especially from the betting standpoint, it makes you not want to bet on the shit anymore, because
it makes you not want to watch.
No, I mean, I'm going to watch because I'm
not you. But football, part of its popularity is the betting and the fantasy aspect of it.
I think that the NBA loses out on this because of that alone, in a weird way. Like, I think it's bad for basketball that there's that, like, because then it's not basketball anymore and it's just a track meet. It's not about, until the playoffs, of course, because then you start hitting unders like fucking crazy. But
it's easy. It's not easy to bet the playoffs, but it makes sense betting the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? I guess wrong. Or, Neesmith hit 4 threes in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Like, watching the game, you understand how you missed your bet.
Yeah.
But with this regular season shit, I mean, Cleveland's down 10 with 420 left. They might win. We don't even know. And it's not like we don't know on some, this is intense. It's like, well, Boston missed a couple shots and Cleveland just gets hot. And I don't know. It's as much as it's up and down, the game doesn't seem as fluid. And even watching New York, I was texting you during that first game. Wow, their offense looks different. I'm not saying it's better, but everyone's touching the ball. People are moving. They're taking mid-range shots. They're getting to the basket. It's not Jalen Brunson just beating the ball into the ground. Well, that nigga had 2 games of that shit. Like, hey, I didn't take less money for this. But the league doesn't have time to focus on the product on the court because they got too much shit off the court that they got to deal with.
You mean the gambling?
And the Kawhi?
That was falling to the back burner in a weird way because of the gambling. And in a weird way, do we want to say that that's been manufactured on purpose?
I don't know if it was manufactured on purpose by the league, but I do think that the FBI doing it at the opening week of the season, what the hell happened in the last 2 weeks that made you have to move now that could where you could have saved Scary Terry from even having to show up to a game or save Chauncey Billups from having to coach a game and then go to jail the next morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're talking not even what? They said Chauncey got somebody's banging on his door at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? We could,
you know, the feds are only going to bang once. Then they just kick your shit in.
And even that, come on, bro. We talk about Chauncey Billups. And I know that Terry Rozier's lawyer came out and said, y'all didn't have to make him do the perp walk. We would have turned ourselves in. But they need the headlines.
You know what the funny thing is?
What's up?
I think I spoke to you about this while it was going on, which I'm not sure if Demi is still watching, but obviously we literally just saw that nigga. Like he's sitting right next to me at Alibi at Aria, of course, in a casino. You know, being
somebody, maybe it was on a podcast. I don't remember, but they were talking about seeing Chauncey somewhere gambling or somebody I knew. I don't remember, but I mean, guys gamble. And I talked about this on Village Vets. I'm sure I talked about it here last week because the point remains the same, but I'm not saying that the NBA players were not complicit to some degree.
Yeah.
But they also, you got organized crime involved. And if you know the history of gambling in America, really gambling, period, but gambling in America and sports gambling in America, you understand that it's deeper than just the guy who gets caught. You know, Tim Donaghy got caught, and we tried to make him a lone ranger. Pete Rose got caught. We tried to make him a lone ranger. Michael Porter Jr. got caught. We tried to make him a lone ranger. Scary Terry was getting investigated. We tried to make him a lone ranger. Malik Beasley. All these guys, we're trying to make it seem like it's one-offs. The players talk about gambling with each other all of the time.
They gamble on the fucking team plane.
They gamble on the team plane. They gamble in the fucking hotel rooms. They probably have stupid bets going on during the games. I mean, shit, I know I would. Think about it. If you Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, fuck that. You LeBron and D Wade in the Heat. Healthy D Wade.
What's a $10,000 bet?
Hey D Wade, I got 10,000. I outscore you today. And now neither guy is going to mess up the game because 10,000 is not enough for that with those types of guys.
Yeah.
But it's extra sauce. But it goes to the competition thing. What Kenny was trying to explain last week on Inside the NBA with Michael Francis. Oh, golly. If you want to, and I'm not saying everything he says is true because I'm not there. I don't know. But he's like, yeah, these guys, they gamble, they get in the hole. What happens when you get in the hole? You got to pay it back. If you don't pay it back, you can't pay it back. I need my money back. I need you to work the book. I need you to blow the game. And Francis said, he's told players, hey, you go in there, you get in foul trouble early. Hey, you throw 2 interceptions the first 2 times you throw the football.
Yeah.
You throw it to the other team. He's saying he's told players to do that, and he won't say a name, obviously, to protect them. And so when you see this dark cloud over it, and guys who are obsessed with competition and raising the stakes and risk, and then other guys, which is how organized crime work, right? They prey on people's weaknesses.
Yeah.
So that they can profit. They don't really have to make the business. They just come walk in your trap, take over your trap.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious to me that it's a bigger play here. And this is what Donahue was trying to get out. When they were going to do the investigation that David Stern shut down. Because he was going to wear the wire. And then Stern outed, then somehow it got leaked that he was cooperating. And obviously it got called off because no one's going to talk to Donahue because he's cooperating.
There's that, and then there's just more so the idea that this is something that I hate to almost say that this is what the league is built on, but it kind of is what the league is built on.
It is.
Competitiveness, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes Michael Jordan so great. That's what makes Kobe so great. These were guys that were known as competitors. Now, I am in no way saying I don't know what Kobe was
you left the name. You left the name out there talking about great competitors, by the way. Just, for the audience.
Those are the first two people that come to mind. I don't typically try to get to a third guy. It's always about the first two that come to mind. But nonetheless, there's a lot of competition out there. And like you said, you wouldn't be surprised if during the game these guys had bets going on. We know Jordan did. It's a well-documented. We know goddamn well Jordan had bets going on. If this dude, when we see The Last Dance, this guy is betting the fucking the fucking security dude. Hey, I bet I can get that quarter closer to the wall than you can. What the fuck type of bet is that? Seriously. What is that? No, but for real, what is that? What do you mean? I'm betting the security guy in the hallway if I can get that down there.
A deeply insecure guy who channeled it into greatness. There is a strong level of insecurity that comes with being highly competitive.
Yeah.
Because you're having to prove yourself and you have to get it on paper and have it validated to say that you're better than somebody instead of just looking a nigga in his face and like, bro, I'm better than you. Prove it. Nigga, look at me and look at you, bro. I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Again, when you're totally secure in where you are, come on, dog. You ain't arguing with these niggas. You just gonna go out and do you.
Yeah, you don't even talk about it. I guess that's the thing.
Exactly. But when you're that competitive, it's driven from insecurity. And again, we all have insecurities to varying levels. So it's not to say that they're bad or weak. It's just, no, I feel like that's where it comes from. But even the MJ thing, and there's all these floating conspiracies out here. But the job of the commissioner is to protect the business. So, people
it's no longer a conspiracy, though, Lee.
Well, some of the MJ stuff, rest in peace to his father, respect.
Well, I don't know what happened with that, but I think that him retiring,
yes.
I think that was 100% a league suspension. Now I do believe that.
But the timing of it, because it comes off of his father's passing, and random people rarely get murdered for no reason.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's conspiracy land, because we're rational adults that can say that just doesn't make sense. And we don't live in crime, but we've put ourselves in position to be victims of crimes, but we were unbothered because we don't live in that world.
Correct. Typically, like you said, when something happens, you are targeted for a reason. I've spoke about this, maybe not publicly on here, but like I said, I got a home invasion here once, and they told me why they picked me. There was a reason behind it. They thought I was selling drugs. Or at least they were tipped off that I was selling drugs.
You drove an Escalade.
Drove an Escalade that I had gotten because my mom had passed. And then my brother had gotten a new truck. He just so happened to have gotten a new truck around the same time. And it wasn't even new. It was like maybe a year old. It was like a Silverado. But
that's new. That's new when niggas is watching.
It's new, right, when two vehicles turn into two new ones. Two different ones that are different from what you were driving. Yeah.
And Escalade screams drug dealer.
Yeah, mine had wheels and shit on it. Yeah.
And like at your age and love the townhouse. That at that time, you that young, living in that area, that townhouse in the Escalade, I'd say, this nigga selling dope. I wouldn't rob you. I'd be like, yeah, that nigga down, couple houses down. Yeah, them niggas over there selling dope. They got people in and out all the time because, again, you're a college kid. And, you know, I'm sure they smelt some stuff from time to time because you're a college kid, parties, people are around, you know?
Yeah.
Like, niggas selling dope. They're in and out of the house all the, you know, because I'm sure you would leave campus and come home and go back if you had a long enough break.
So yeah, when I couldn't get my schedule perfect, I always try to stay on campus because then that's why I would stay at your Josh Holsey's, you know, your Julian Turners. I just had
at your Josh Holsey's. Nah, nigga, come stay at fucking Lee's, just knocking on the door.
Yeah, nah, but you know, there will be times where I'd have that hour break, maybe, but like I always try to go back to back. I never try to, especially when I got to the major classes. Bank of America. No, we're gonna go from upstairs, downstairs to down the hall, and then we getting out.
Yeah,
like, and I'll catch the $5 pizza man on my way out, man. And now I got myself lunch. You know,
and that was the good and bad thing about the suite. So for one, midday sex was damn near a no-go for our suite senior year. Because you're in and out, Jews in and out, Marv is in and out, Haitian Josh is in and out, Chris Hawthorne's in and out. Like, all of our friends who did not live on campus were in and out of the suite. No call. Niggas know your schedule or know somebody's going to be there, and they know they're welcome and just knock on the fucking door. What if I had a little ugly girl in here that I didn't want y'all to see?
They say, nigga, that's your fault. You shouldn't be bringing her in here if you didn't want us to see her. Yeah. But the $5 pizza man was clutch. He was honestly maybe the most underrated person on campus.
Yeah.
And that nigga, now you want to talk about selling drugs. That's what that nigga looked like. He had them pies, nigga.
Hey, I got all these voided orders. It's warm, cold.
He was ordering them on purpose himself, nigga, and then it was like, oh, they ain't pick up. I couldn't, you know, it was set up for a delivery. That nigga, he was selling it on his own. Because ain't no way Papa John's was teaming up and being like, yeah, man, just go out here and let's just get rid of some pies in the middle of the day. It'd be one thing if it was at the end of the night. Like, you know what I mean? Nah.
That nigga was working a shift.
I know. This is what I'm saying. And he would have like, bro, because everybody was waiting on that nigga. And you know, whenever somebody sees somebody, then you stop too, and you're like, shit, I got $5.
Hey, well, you see a nigga with a Papa John's pizza at like 2:00. $5 pizza man here? Hell yeah, he over there Bank of America.
Hey, better yet. Hey, here, bro. I got 10. Go get one for yourself and me. Just bring it back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, you go pick it up. Like,
nigga come back with a piece. Hey, now let me get a piece. Nigga, no, he's right outside. Go get your own.
It's just $5, boss. And this was, think about it, this was before that Chick-fil-A was back there at Kilgore. Kilgore was still Kilgore, but
yeah, bro, you ain't. Nigga, Kilgore costs too much. If you
I never bought shit out of there. But I'm saying, well, the Chick-fil-A was clutch.
Yeah, but like if you're not using your Morehouse, your Tiger Bucks or whatever that shit was in Kilgore,
I didn't have it.
Yeah, you know, I'm 4 years. I lived on campus all 4 years.
Yeah, I didn't have any.
But I wasn't spending my cash in there. For what? $12 chicken plate.
Yeah, chicken tenders and fries. Yeah,
I can go down to Murkison's and get $2.99 piece.
Yeah, I was about to say actually, I thought that was like a $5 plate, $4.99,
$1.99 on Mondays, baby.
Or even at that point, just go to Popeyes. Shit.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna spend $12 on some chicken.
Yeah.
All right. Even better yet, churches for the niggas out there.
I'm a Popeyes guy.
Nah, I am too. But I'm just saying. But for the niggas out there, a nigga might run over to churches because churches they'll give you that ostrich meat for $2.99.
All right, bro. 2010 first semester freshman year, no bullshit. The nigga shot low pulled up to the churches. R.I.P. And I was like, bro,
you're gonna give me more to it.
Nah, my nigga,
Y'all are just there, and you just have to see Shawty.
I wasn't even there.
Oh,
Some other people was there and saw him, and I'm like, what the fuck y'all niggas doing at churches? Popeye's across the street. I get if churches is closer. Popeye, nigga, it take you the same time. The only difference between churches and Popeyes is the side of the street you walk down leaving campus.
well, at that point, you'll be able to catch it at some point to just run across. It ain't always going to be fucking cars coming. So, and if you really want to save some money, there's a Taco Bell right there, which I got. Me and Deshaun Green got food poisoning towards the end of our freshman year. I didn't eat Taco Bell for 10 years because of that. But that's not here nor there.
How much time we got left?
We got about less than 15 minutes. So I guess let's get to the one thing that's pressing. Wemby MVP season loading. Thoughts?
I mean, if he isn't, he is. It's not going to matter. I mean, we keep talking about him. I mean, they are winning games. So, and he's putting up big numbers. He's improved. Some of the things that I was concerned about before we crowned him, which I'm still concerned about. One is playing a full season. But what he's doing is just dominant. I mean, it's dominant, and people were scared of Wemby 2 years ago for the Team USA. Personally, I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't scared of Wemby. I'm like, all right, man. Yeah, I know he killed in the championship game, but he was in France at home. It's different energy. He still got to gain some weight, but now he's stronger. He's finishing through people. You can see the work from the summer, the Hakeem stuff, the Jamal Crawford stuff. Like, I'm not impressed with his handles, just pat, but it's impressive because of his height and his ability to not get ripped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the moves themselves, yeah, they're cool moves. Most NBA players can do them, but at his height, to maintain that control with the distance that the ball has to travel, it's fucking insane. And
yeah, look at that. He does that 360. He does that 360 layup, and people were trying to be like he's getting glazed, and it's just like, nigga, have y'all ever seen a fucking that's 7'5" fucking do that? No, you haven't. Have you ever seen a 7-footer fucking do it?
The 360 layup was whatever, nigga. Dunk it.
I'm with you, but
would Zion lay that up?
No, but Zion also is taking off with the purpose of dunking it to begin with. I think that he was just trying to turn, and then he kind of caught himself and just did it. Like,
Pierce, the nigga can.
Yeah, he doesn't have to jump to dunk. I get it, but like, I get it, and he's long enough to just flush it.
Nigga,
he can flush it. He could Blake Griffin it. Dwight Howard it. Like,
your feet are off the ground and you are at the rim. Dunk the ball.
Yeah.
But no, Wemby's killing it. I enjoy watching it. I'm curious to see what it looks like when Swiper gets back, because he just got paid, which means they're gonna follow the money too. Wemby's gonna be Wemby, but Swiper's gonna do him. Dylan Harper looks good, but the media is going to make Wemby the MVP because they want him to be the MVP. And there's not enough people out there loud enough to say anything. You know, the only person who has shifted an MVP debate, one of the most powerful voices in basketball media, is Kendrick Perkins. You know,
I knew that's what you were gonna say too.
The guy who put Ja Morant on ESPN more games. The guy who's lost friends because he ain't holding punches. He's being serious about what he does in this media game.
You mean KD, Russ, and Bron?
I mean, that's a terrible.
Those are the friends he named.
Yeah, I mean that's a terrible three to lose over doing your job.
You let KD tell them niggas were never friends anyway. They were just teammates.
I mean, Perk. He was the pulse of that locker room, though. He was the anchor. He
was.
Hey, real quick. What are your thoughts on the Wemby MVP glazing and all of that? I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
Honestly, statistically, so far, I mean, they haven't lost a game, and his numbers are insane. So, like, he's on pace. Obviously, he's not going to keep this up. Record-wise, they're certainly not going to go undefeated, right? So,
30 and 12.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, if they win 47 games and he averages 30, 13, and 5 blocks and 4 assists, they're gonna give it to that nigga. They are. They're already trying to give the award out to other people anyways. Because Jokic should have won it last year. Shea got it. I'm not, and nobody's disappointed that he got it because obviously he capped off one of the best seasons you can have in NBA history. But that was Jokic's award in reality too. And so it's like they want to give the award to somebody new. He's the somebody new.
They're turning the MVP award into the NFL MVP awards. It's becoming a big man award.
Well, this gets back to our conversation that we had off air about guards in general, and that's why these niggas don't get paid like that. Because,
well, let's talk about the max goal. Let's talk about the max players who put up MVP caliber numbers. I think
think about Harden only got one, right? And he's not a little guy. But like he's also not a big dude. I mean, he's big by standard of any normal person, but like he's not a big guy in the NBA.
Yes, but I should have.
No, I'm saying those guys are only getting one though. There's no multi-time MVP guard. Hell, Kobe only got one. Jordan's about the only nigga for real. If you just look at it,
Steve Nash,
a guard that's gotten the award multiple times.
Steve Nash.
All right, yeah, and we know that he didn't deserve one of those, maybe both of them, but.
Jason Tatum, well, and Shea, obviously Shea just won it last year, but
he's a 6'7", 6'6" guard. Like Luka doesn't even have one yet. Like,
no, Jason Tatum is making the case for MVP right now, man. I was trying to tell you,
blowing the Cavs out though.
Yes, they did beat the Cavs today, but we've watched. You've seen that product. You've seen that product. You've seen the product trotting out there. You've probably bet on or against it. Jason Tatum is making a very strong argument as to why he is a top 5 guy and should be an MVP in this league at some point. We got to get back to rewarding what American basketball is. And it's kind of racy, but I'm not being racist, I promise. Even with the guard stuff you were talking about, the NBA don't support nigga basketball no more. The way we learned how to play basketball, watching the NBA, watching our favorite college players, they don't reward that.
No.
This nigga Cam Thomas, Oak Hill leading scorer, went to LSU, averaging a dub, come in the league, averaging a dub. Is Cam Thomas, is he good or is he just good stats, bad team? I don't know. You get a nigga the ball, he puts it in the basket.
Nobody looks at Cam Thomas as a player that if you add him and they're lacking guard play, like, okay, let's imagine Desmond Bane doesn't go to the Magic and Cam Thomas does, right? He adds the element that they were asking for because they do have defensive guards. Does Cam Thomas average 25 a game with the Magic?
Nah, he's coming off the bench and averaging 18.
Right. So it's like his style of basketball doesn't fit winning basketball. That's the issue. Like, it's not that he can't score. It's just that isn't – you're not James Harden. We don't need you to drop 50 in a game 1 against the Celtics. We don't.
But how do we fix that? Because these types of guys are getting pushed out of the league or taking lesser deals for niggas like Jake LaRavia. And nobody in no basketball player's mind is Jake LaRavia better than Cam Thomas.
I agree. I'm looking at this now, though, but look at this. So just because I'm literally looking at the box score as we speak, Cam Thomas is 5 for 17 tonight with 15 points. So that's another thing with the guy like him, too. He will have these type of nights. And
he doesn't get other people involved.
Yeah, and I'm guessing Trae Young got hurt, by the way. It says he's only played 7 minutes. But Mike Porter's got 30. You know, that's somebody who's got a $100 million contract that they traded for that will probably get another one in reality. But because he's 6'10".
His injury helped him.
Yeah, because he fell to a good team. And he won a ring.
Not only did he fall to a good team and won a ring, he had to be a role player in order to play. Because remember, he wasn't playing early with Mike Malone.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, dog, get this young nigga in. He can hoop. He's 16, nigga 6'10", goddamn shooting guard.
Yeah.
But because he was forced into that situation and because of his injury, it's like, okay, you're not gonna be the star that you thought you were gonna be, because he was supposed to be number 1 overall pick.
That is the way that he was talked about, certainly. Which the intangibly, like when you look at him, it's like, yeah, I'd like that on my team. It's a guy that can shoot the ball. He's 6'10", he can dribble. He can play pretty much every position. I mean, that's like the thing, versatility, which is another thing that these small guys don't bring, which is why they're not getting paid. They can only do one thing. That's all Cam Thomas can do. Can't distribute the ball. Not a fucking great, like, it's not like Russell Westbrook, right, where he's a great rebounding guard either. Like, so it makes a ton of sense.
And Russ is so much better. He's just so much better than the average that you just deal with it.
Let's get to the picks. We are cutting it real close.
Okay.
I'm ready, though. I already have them. I did my pre-production here. I got everything down.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Parlay Pete College Football 6-pack.
666. All right, so we'll kick this one off with where College game day is going to be. We got Cincinnati at Utah. I like Cincinnati to cover the 10.5. They've been playing some really good ball. Luke Fickell, fuck you. All right. Next, we got Duke at Clemson. I think Cade Klubnik is back, if I believe all the reports I saw. Give me Clemson on the money. Next, we got New Mexico at UNLV. Another candidate that people keep talking about is UNLV's coach, Mr. Dan Mullen. Give me UNLV minus 2.5. Next, we got Texas Tech at Kansas State. Kansas State blew doors on Kansas last week. They come back down to earth this week. I like Texas Tech to cover here on the spread at minus 6.5. And then we got Georgia at Florida. Come on now, guys. Give me Georgia on the money line. It's kind of undervalued, so I really like that. We know Georgia's not going to lose this game. And then next, we got Penn State at Ohio State. I like Ohio State to cover the 20.5. I mean, the team's in disarray.
All right, so we got Cincy plus 10.5, Clemson on the money line, UNLV minus 2.5, Texas Tech minus 6.5, UGA on the money line, and Ohio State minus 20.5.
That is correct.
All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Parlay Pete NFL 6.
All right, so we're going to start this one off piping hot. Maybe the game of, well, I guess this would be the game of the week. Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to take the Bills as a dog at home. I think that this is a good spot for them. They typically always win this matchup. Give me the Bills on the money line. Next, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got the over-under set at 50.5. I like it to be a high-scoring affair, honestly. Pittsburgh's defense isn't good, and Aaron Rodgers, they're going to have to put up points in order to stay up with the Colts. I like over 50.5. Next, we got the Sunday Nighter, Seattle at the Commanders. DQ's not just going to keep going out like this. I like the Commanders plus 3.5 at home. Jaden Daniels will be back. I expect them to be able to cover this 3.5 spread. Next, we got the 49ers at the Giants. From my understanding, Brock Purdy will be back. I like the 49ers to go in there. No Cam Scatterboo, no problem. And plus, they would be coming off of another loss, even though I hope that they do lose for the Falcons' sake. But then again, I guess it won't matter with us. Give me the 49ers on the money line. Then next, the game that we're going to do a doubleheader in here with the bets. We got the Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. I like under 41.5 and Broncos money line because they are dogs, and I don't expect points to be scored because these are two elite defenses.
Under 40.5?
41.5.
Under 41.5 and Broncos on the money line.
That
so we got Bills on the money line. Colts at Steelers over 50.5. Commanders plus 3.5. 49ers on the money line. Broncos at Texans under 41.5 and Broncos on the money line.
There you go.
All right.
We got to beat the clock. Please, three.
All right, so for leads 3, we're going to go UGA on the money line. I'm going to take Ohio State minus 20.5 and give me the Broncos on the money line.
Hey, I love that. Well,
all right, man.
It's fun as always, Lee. I'm going to press the button now.
All right, Doc, press it.